one of your interviews, you talked about how you addressed the whole 2030 conflict, where I'm gonna let you go into it, but as from what I could take from it, you don't think the future looks good for us in dating in the very near future. It's like not that far from now. You know what I'm saying? So kind of help me with that. Like, what's your thoughts on this whole 2030 idea of what's going to happen with modern women?
Yeah. So 2030, always it's a combo of research, conspiracy theories, just different organizations, especially globalist related organizations. They've all talked about certain agendas to really shape and redefine what countries are, how economies work, how we earn money, just a whole host of things in terms of who controls that, who dictates that, right? So the big thing that we've noted in the last 3 years now, and we know it's not going to slow down, is AI. So we're having to acknowledge that we're seeing a rapid growth in technology that's way beyond what we saw in the 20th century, way faster. The AI we saw 2 years ago is nothing compared to what we're seeing now.
Yeah, no.
Right. So when we were all growing up, we could recall like when we went to Walmart or certain stores, like the long lines, it just take forever to like check out. And then over time you saw self-checkout, you saw less people working in those positions. This stuff has always been happening as technology got better. So in the past, this was originally happening with the men. When you think about it, it was like a lot of these men were getting those factory jobs. And then technology got better. They outsourced those jobs. They shipped them overseas. And then you saw these men who literally couldn't work. We saw it in our so we saw it within our community in the urban areas, Camden, different pockets in Ohio, Pennsylvania. You saw thriving communities that just completely like was abandoned, languished. And a lot of those men got left behind. They went on drugs. They just died. Like, and you saw how at the time women who were working or were getting benefits from the government, they started to kind of have to go with that option over their men. Well, now when you fast forward to today, you're now seeing an environment where in this fiscal year alone, I think it was in the last, I think like 6 months or something like that, over 300,000 jobs, Black women specifically, lost. That doesn't even include since the last election cycle. So when well over a quarter, that's just one small facet of the population within the country. So when those jobs don't return, and that really wasn't even about technology, that was just policy, that was just cuts. Now, what happens when the technology continues to get better? And I'm saying that a lot of the jobs that's probably going to be on the chopping block first are the ones where just require people to be at a computer, where the error rate is going to be significantly improved by just replacing the person with tech. So all these women that don't do all this manual labor jobs, especially outdoors, and they don't want to, and they're not going to be able to, when these jobs are cut, and now instead of it being a month or two for you to get another job or gig, even a small regular gig, it might be 6 months to 2 years. And if these people own cars, these people own homes, these people have student loan debt, and they're going to have to start figuring this stuff out. So in terms of relationships, I think a large percentage of humanity that lives in Western countries, this is eventually going to happen to, including men. But the difference is there will be certain positions that it'll take a lot longer for technology to catch up to replace them. So the first people on the chopping block, if me and my wife both lost our job today and couldn't find work in terms of the type of fields that we work in, I can go out on the field. I can go and do construction. I have a background in landscaping. She doesn't. My biological hardwiring is going to allow me to be able to stay outdoors longer, lift heavier, be able to endure the toil of that. She's not. So, and we talk about it all the time. So that's the reality, where it's like a lot of these women that are walking around, especially liberal women and women in our community, talking and saying like, we don't need men, men aren't important and all this other nonsense. That's cool and all, but one president, one policy, one advancement in AI, and you could effectively be seen as useless and expendable. I think they're going to have a different tune.
But you didn't get into the And I agree with a lot of what you're saying, and that's like
Mhm.
the economic side. But so, are you
Mhm.
suggesting that's what's going to cause the breakdown of marriage? I mean, to me,
No,
what you're
it's going to
saying
do
is
the
going to cause
opposite.
more people to get. Yeah, it's going to cause more people to get married.
Yes,
So
it's
then,
going to do the opposite
so
to
but
me.
okay, so we have two paths that are, I guess, happening simultaneously, right? One,
Mhm.
people are going to get some jobs are going to become obsolete,
Yep.
right? Which to me would be a good thing. Listen, if we have any kind of crisis in the community, like what happened with COVID, a lot of people got married around COVID.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Shockingly enough, and a lot of people got divorced too because people didn't
Mhm.
put time together, and when they
Mhm.
started, they hated each other. But it taught a lot about how what women from 40% of women between 25 and 35 or 40 are going to be single and childless.
Yep.
So you feel like that prediction might be off?
No, by 2040. So it's twofold. So you're going to have a percentage of these women who that's what's going to happen. And it's going to be a combo of their attitude when they lose their job. Um, they may still have their job and therefore they keep living a lifestyle where they think those two things don't matter and are not valued. And then there's going to be the percentage of women that I'm talking about where they're going to be forced to adjust. They're going to be forced to reevaluate the central purpose and reason for why they're here and the value system. I think both things are going to happen. I think there's going to be the women who are lucky that work in the fields where it still requires them to be able to keep their jobs, and they're going to be able to keep pushing and kicking the can down the line. And then one day they'll wake up and realize, oh, maybe I should have prioritized this or this a little bit sooner or earlier. And it's going to be probably really difficult for them to ever have a child. And when they finally start taking it seriously, they're going to look around at all the women who are also competing, who are just look just as good as them or better, um, has a better attitude and is younger. And it's going to be a lot harder for them to actually get that. And then the ones that are lucky enough to do it, they're going to start seeing guys that they would have never talked to, never given a chance to. I won't be shocked. So being the guys who has the skill sets, and basically what I'm saying is for myself in particular, I need to learn a trade. Like
You're concerned about it. Are you talking for real for you, or are you talking
yeah,
about just
in general, like it, so although I'm a working professional and I've been working in the field for 10 years, my field is up for grabs too. Like this idea that like any field that requires a significant amount of human error that isn't something that requires somebody to bend down and pick something up can't be replaced. I don't know that we realize how much has changed in the last 15 years technology wise. How much has changed. And when these computers get good enough to be able to provide much better diagnosis, how many people when they have a question about anything are now asking chat gpt and not their doctor or a therapist?
oh, so you feel like therapy's on a chopping block because of like AI right away?
Yeah, so think of it this way: if OnlyFans is having AI chicks, if people are going less to libraries and less to books and even less to news and they're going straight to their phones, you've been primed for the last 15 years to go to your device in your hand to go for everything. In the last 5 years since COVID, we are effectively at 95% telehealth. Almost nobody comes in for therapy anymore.
Are you serious?
Bro, we service 1,000 people.
Oh,
We
wait,
service,
wait.
bro,
Slow down, slow down. Right now, how many patients or how many people do you see?
we service 1,000 people in the city of Philadelphia a month.
And 95% of them are telehealth?
Therapists and doctors and nurse practitioners. Almost all of these people are receiving it via over the phone or via the computer.
Damn, that
So
was a negative thing of COVID. Then that was the reverse. I mean, maybe it made it more accessible for
it is
people.
more accessible. It's easier. Now you don't have to commute. Now you don't have to worry about childcare. There's a whole host of things that made it convenient. Now what happens when the agencies realize that if they can make it good enough to where people feel like they can talk and be heard and the responses sound natural and real, and you think of it this way: although the human element has some strengths, it also has some weaknesses. There, there's things that you'll type in a computer or on your phone that you won't say out loud.
Mm.
So what happens now when you say it to the AI across from you that's not a real person. You can say anything. Now you're not worried about how they're going to feel about you after the fact.
I'll tell you one thing though.
Mm-hmm.
The CEO of ChatGPT said something that could be in your favor, and he said that
Mm-hmm.
people should be very careful what they say to ChatGPT because you don't have that client like attorney privilege.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that privilege. Well, you have with a therapist, right? Well, I don't know.
No.
Can you tell your therapist you're going to do something illegal, and are you going to snitch on them, or how does that work?
It has to be more so if it's a crime has been committed, and even then there's a judgment call, and it's usually if they are at risk to themselves or others. Those are typically, or it involves a minor. Those are typically the things that
Oh,
will
you
say.
can't say that you did some pedophile stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can't admit if someone confessed that to you, you have
Mm-hmm.
to go to the police, I guess.
Yeah, but if
Yeah,
they
you
were
got
already,
to
yeah, if they were already prosecuted for it, then
That's
not.
fine.
Like,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. No, you gotta. Okay, I thought I was gonna save you. I guess not. Maybe it'll save lawyers because lawyers still have that privilege where you can tell your lawyer anything.
I just want us to reimagine that anything that humans can do that doesn't require certain intricate human like physical actions, they can pretty much already are getting back, because remember, like, they have a different database. They can go through the entire DSM within seconds. Sorry, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual. They can go through entire law books. They can go through entire spans of history in seconds to analyze data and come up with a better answer and response. This is teaching, professors, adding, subtracting, calculations. Like, when you think about all the things that we do to sustain ourselves, so much of it is things that we're like, I'm just saying that
Wow.
I think it would behoove, especially men, I think it would be very helpful over the next 5 years for us, especially if you don't have a trade, to start exploring the possibility of learning one. So that's going to be my goal over the next 5 years, besides podcasting and continuing to do what I'm doing on the side. Try to learn a trade, get good at it, and just in the event that things shift or change.